What's up, everybody? My name is Nozibele Qamngana-Mayaba. Welcome to Don't Hold Back. This is where we say it loud. If you're coming from my YouTube channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we are tackling a very heavy topic. We are talking about gender-based violence. GBV is so widespread in our country that the president himself declared it a national crisis. Today, we want to unpack: how do you even see that the relationship that you are in is abusive and toxic? And what role do relative friends and family play in making sure that they get their person out of this relationship? Today, I am so excited to be joined by a very special person. I have followed her for quite some time on social media. I've always been a fan. I think she is a superhero. I've always been mesmerized by how she goes out of her way to help others. She is a very outspoken person when it comes to gender-based violence. She is an activist. She's also an actress. Please help me welcome in studio Lona Bawuti.
Thank you so much. Also, you like me?
I love you. What do you mean? I followed you. I think it's about 2 years now.
Is it?
I think the first story that I followed you from was you fundraising that this boy, undergoes his rite of passage.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I need to know this girl
I remember
more.
you even made a video that you guys gonna come, and you didn't.
I know.
You did not come.
Why are
So
you
owe
outing me on?
You owe me, definitely.
I know, I
You
owe
me.
you. But listen, I'm so excited to have you in studio. Before we go forward, I am a big foodie, right? I love food.
Okay.
And I've asked you, and actually all of my guests, to come in with a snack,
Okay.
right, that we can share. I see some bowls, right?
Yeah.
What did you bring today?
Wow, those are noodles.
Noodles.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very interested to learn what's the story behind the noodles, and we're gonna actually try them out. But let's talk about it later on.
Okay,
right?
cool.
So today, Lona, we are talking about gender-based violence, and you are one person that has been very, outspoken, calling a spade,
Yeah.
Advocating for people to get out of abusive and toxic relationships.
Yeah.
And I often wonder, where does the passion come from? Is it personal, someone that has gone through it, or it's just a matter of, no, you don't have to learn from it, or you don't have to experience it yourself. You need to need to be outspoken about it. What's your story with that?
With gender-based violence, firstly, okay, it's just something wrong. Okay, so I'm against those things. But then now, I was just like pushing that people should do the right thing and whatnot until it happened to me, right? So now it was more from a personal point of view, because you at first you're not aware what's going on.
Right.
You're just not aware. There's just a lot of manipulation psychologically, because a person comes, tell you sad stories, you feel sorry for them, and then you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna give this person a chance because no one did, right? And now you're not gonna see what they do wrong, firstly, because you're like, okay, let me just give him time, or her, let me give him time because everyone hasn't been giving them time. I'm gonna make an example. Let's say someone who's gonna come and talk about like opportunities and whatnot, they were not given enough and whatnot. So you always feel sorry.
Yes.
That's the first start. You just feel sorry first.
You just want to give this person a chance
to
because
life,
they've
right.
never been given a chance.
Definitely. So it started with mine. It started like that. So there were a lot of restrictions. I'm a very outgoing person. There were a lot of restrictions, and I think also, I wouldn't say I don't know because I don't have a father, right? I don't know how to be treated, but then it just raises other things. Are they supposed to do it like this? Are they supposed to do it like this? Because my father was just never there. So I really battle with like registering treatment from guys, right? Because there's always that thing at the back of my mind. So with him, it started with controlling. At some point, when it started, I found it was weird. But then the people who are convinced that like this guy actually cares about you.
Okay.
Yeah. They're convinced. So if they're telling you, don't drink, don't do that, don't go out,
because he
take it as
cares
if
about
they
you,
care, right? So I was like, okay, let me just like listen to this guy. right? And do what he likes. Maybe you're gonna be okay. But then you allow one thing, it advances. Now it was not I don't want you drinking. The tone itself changed.
Okay.
So at first it's like, babe, I don't want you to do this and that and that. And you're like, okay. And then you allow that. And then now the tone, like, where the hell are you?
Okay.
You see, and a choice of words.
Yes.
It builds up, it builds up, it builds up. And the way it's so, people will always say, why did you stay longer? I was also mad at myself because it was a year and 6 months, right? When I got out, I was so mad at myself. I've never been so hurt because I'm like, I'm aware of those things. I'm aware. Why was I there? Because it doesn't look like they're abusing you at the time, right? So it's more of, it really doesn't, because at some point, I remember I didn't believe that I'm beautiful until he told me.
That validation
Exactly.
that he gave
yeah,
you.
you look for I don't know how to put it right, but everything has to be like approved by him all the time. So he would tell me like, stop wearing short stuff, what, and then the baiting started as well.
Wow.
The baiting
So it started firstly as a manipulation, and then it started, I can sense more, psychological, playing with your emotions, and then eventually it started getting physical.
Yeah, definitely. It did.
Are you comfortable in sharing just even that first incident where it started getting physical?
Yeah, definitely. I am.
What were you thinking from the, was it a slap? Was it a push?
It was a slap because I remember back home I was at my aunt's place. We had a braai. So I think we were 3 months into the relationship. So we had a braai. Obviously I was drinking and I know that he was gonna pick me up. So he came later on. And then I think I was trying to kiss him or something, and then he was like, you smell of alcohol. And then the slap happened. And now I'm drunk and I'm like, what is going on? And then I let that go. And then it would continue. I remember this other time I also lost my phone and I misplaced it rather. It was new and my mom even bought it. It was not him. But then like he slapped me. I don't know. There were just like a lot of slapping for no reason. There were just a lot of slapping. And the saddest part now with physical abuse, you get used to it, and then you kind of adapt sometimes, right? Or even like feel like you angered him that much, so it's your fault.
You deserve
it, right? So, but I decided to get out when I saw myself that I wasn't being myself. Like I was so angry to a point that like I would be sleeping with him and like look for anything. But what can I do with this to pay back? I mean, revenge for revenge, right? So I was like, no, I'm gonna end up killing this guy, and my life is gonna go down the drain. So I was like, no, I need to get out of here. But even so, because when abusers, they groom you. Groom you. Even when he would bet me, like when he apologizes, he would be so sincere.
And you think to yourself, he will never do it again.
Like every time he does it, it's like different. All the time. I swear to God, if he could, he was going to give me the whole world. I don't know where you guys are going to stay or what, but when he apologizes, be like, babe, I'm sorry, I'll never do this again. You know I have a problem. What? And he has like a lot of problems going on. So he'd also manipulate me with those things, right?
Now, Lona, were there any people aware of what was going on? Was your family aware? And if there were, what kind of role did they play? Either letting you know that, listen, you need to get out, or even confronting him? Because the reason I'm asking is, there's a recent story, on social media. Actually, not even just one story. Every now and then, there's a national story that goes out of a person either that was killed, all those things. And one of the most prominent question that comes up is, where was the family all this time when this person was experiencing this? So with you, did the family know what was going on?
No, it starts with us, the victims. We hide it first. We don't want, we front like we're happy and whatnot and whatnot, right? So sometimes it's hard for people to even see that you're going through this because, especially when it started, because it wasn't physical when it started, but then I saw that it's kind of different, right? So when it actually happens, you do follow me, right? We were happy posting what, and that time I would be like bruising, right? So we hide it first until, because I remember the other time I had a cut somewhere here. So when I went to my friends, they're like, what happened here? And I lied. I was like, I fell, right? So we start with the lies and other people, they really, really, really do not say it because we are so good at hiding it, right? Because the whole relationship, it was just like beating. And other people genuinely thought I was happy, right? So it started with the scars and always lying. And then a friend noticed, like, friend, no man, you're getting scars all the time. What's going on? Like, why are you falling? And then we spoke. Yeah, well, I told her, and then so I was like, okay, sharp. He's probably not going to do it again. And for some time he stopped. And then my brother would also pick me up, like while we're fighting and whatnot. So I'd always call my brother to come. He was also not comfortable. Like, the thing is, at that time, you don't want to let go, but you want them to stop the betting. So you don't want to let go, but
do you think you wanted to you thought you could convince him otherwise to stop what he was doing?
Yeah, I thought I could help him. That's a problem. Like, we are always there. No, he's gonna change. And he does it again and again and again. So my friends, well, they did tell me to get out. My brother as well. Everyone did, and I eventually did. Because they were like, you are not aware of it. And the saddest part is that they noticed before I even told them, right? They're like, no, we're waiting for you to come. To come to us and then tell us. And then I told them, and they're so happy. Like, I even remember this other time. He came to, a cousin of mine was in the States. Yeah. So he came back. We're going to have a party for that. There is not telling, there is asking for permission to go to a family function. That's how far it was.
Wow.
So I went, and he was like, okay, I'm going to pick you up during the day. I'm like, but it's a family bride. And it just did not make sense. And I spoke about it. I asked for the permission, right? And then out of nowhere, he just showed up with his friends. He's like, everyone is with their girlfriends and you are here. I don't. So he started like dragging me. And he also promised to shoot my brothers or something because like there was a commotion. So I think people knew. Yeah. But they just wanted me to be honest and be truthful, like, and save myself. Literally, like, if he would call, I would get up, like he sees me, and answer the phone. So the behavior was very different, and it was not me. That time I stay in Joburg. He stays in Tat, and he had that power. Wow. I did not go out. I did not drink for the whole relationship. I did not drink. I did not do anything.
Because you were afraid of how he might react. He will call it too if he wants. He will video call me. If I'm in a different house, he knows my space. So like, where are you? Blah, blah, blah. This and that and that and that and that. You have to explain.
Yeah.
When it comes to gender-based violence, Lona, where did we go wrong? What is happening? What are some of the interventions that needs to be addressed to mitigate and really bring about the conversation forward and really just bring more awareness that this needs to stop?
I think this has been way back. Like she put it very well. Like there's nothing to be done. They should just stop. We're gonna march. We're gonna wear dukes. What if they don't want to stop? It won't stop. It doesn't depend on us. It doesn't depend on the victim.
Absolutely.
It does. They will never.
Absolutely.
Even after this, someone is listening, and they'll probably do it.
Yeah.
So there's no amount of like us trying to do something. They should just stop. The whole thing depends on them to stop. That's it.
We need them to be accountable. Whoever is being the perpetrator, we need them to be accountable. That you just need to stop this behavior. It's unacceptable.
And that's it.
So Lona, as you got out of the relationship, how did that affect you? With your outlook on life, but also with the thought of, would I ever consider being in another relationship? What was that journey for you?
Well,
how did that affect you?
I'm such a lover. No, I'm going to continue dating. You know, like, I give people chances.
Yeah.
Because this one hurt me and this one wants me now. I'm not going to punish them for someone's doing. No, I don't do that. But however, I don't want to be shouted.
Yeah.
Like I panicked because in that relationship, when we shout, something was gonna come up, right? So I'm very sensitive to like pitch, tone, also the restrictions as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm an adult. Like what? I'm an adult, just 10, 27.
Yes.
So, but I'm still a part of me is still scared. So my boyfriend owns a gun. It's gun. It's licensed.
Yes.
It's not. It's not. Yeah. So I remember this other time we were traveling, and he just took it and put it next to him. I freaked out because I knew what that meant for me, right? And it was, he did not even notice, but I freaked out. I was like, what is this now? So I think more than anything, I always like look back and be scared if this one is not going to do it. And but still, I'm still dating, so
Yeah.
it hasn't affected me.
But you're
that-
more cautious.
Yeah,
You're more
yeah, that's the
cautious.
word. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we recently got also introduced, or were made aware of a recent case in Mthatha, and you're one of the instrumental people that coordinated a march for hashtag justice for Hlehla, right? And for someone that is listening, there are those that are saying, oh my goodness, are we having this conversation again? So sometimes people zone out of these conversations.
Yeah.
But when you're one of the people that has always been consistent.
Because the violence is consistent itself. It's there.
So is that what, because my question was going to be, how do you keep going? How do you continuously, even if it's a handful of people that engage, you don't tire down, Lona. You continue to fight and you continue to make people aware this is wrong. This needs an intervention.
I'm just against anything wrong, especially towards women. Like we have been mistreated for the longest time. Sometimes even culture itself, it's always like putting us down.
Yeah.
So I just don't like anything that's gonna oppress women or harm them or whatever. I think it's just me. I just don't like. I look at it at a deeper level than gender-based violence.
Yeah.
Even culture-wise, everything's just oppressing.
Yeah.
Especially African culture.
Absolutely.
It's oppressing. Sometimes I even feel like things are just designed to oppress women all the time. So I keep on going because I'm a woman. I'm a woman. That thing can happen to anyone.
The other question that I wanted to ask is, do you think gender-based violence has gotten worse over time? Or do you think that it has gotten more airtime over time?
I feel like, it has always been there because I remember a story that my uncle told me. I think one of his friends, the wife left and whatnot, and then when she got home, she was beaten to go back. So, it has been there. However, there were not enough channels to talk about it because, Facebook now, social media, it's a thing that just started now. So it has been a thing. The killings, I don't think there were a lot, but the beating, I think it was there. But now I think with our generation, I think what's frustrating is that people end up dying most of the time, right? But then back in the day, I don't think they were killed like what's happening now.
Okay.
But I'm definitely sure they were being beaten.
Listen, once again, I admire the work that you continue to do. I saw you on that march. There were hundreds of people. You were in the front line. You actually flew from Johannesburg to Mthatha. That's how serious it was. And I just admire, and you encourage and inspire also me to use my platform, to use our platforms to continue with the advocacy.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna change the wheels a bit.
Okay.
I want to do a fun game with you. It's called rapid fire questions. Okay. So I am going to give you about 2 options, and you basically need to choose one.
Okay.
And you don't have that much time. I think about 5 to 10 seconds to think about it. Okay. So are you ready?
I am.
Okay. First question. What is more important, nails or toenails?
Nails.
Nails. You know why I'm laughing at this question.
I know. Don't do that.
I won't. Okay, another question. As an actress, in a star in a sitcom, or a superhero in an action film?
Definitely superhero.
There you go. Okay. What would you give up first? Snacking or binge watching?
Snacking.
Really? I love my food. You know already. Okay. Are you holidaying back home or somewhere new?
Somewhere new. Definitely somewhere new.
Okay, Lona.
I want to see places.
What place would you like to see?
I would want to go to, firstly, Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Victoria Falls.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love that actually as well. Okay. And then this one is more open-ended. What is your clothing choice on a Sunday morning?
It has to be like baggy clothes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a baggy tracksuit.
Yeah, and a big t-shirt maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I enjoyed that. Okay. Can you actually talk about the toenails?
Don't do that.
I love it. Lona, guys, was so nervous. She was like, listen, I need to get my toenails, on point. I'm like, Lona, they're not going to zoom in on our toenails.
We're going to see it. Imagine me trending now.
We're not going to see your toenails.
Good.
Okay. Now, Lona, let us go into the food, okay? I know you came in with some noodles. I need to know the story behind the noodles.
Well, this is our struggling meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've
As a
heard about it.
student,
Yes.
college, varsity, whatever.
Yes.
It's a go-to.
Okay. I actually like in noodles with usually some peppers, fry some peppers, and then add a little bit of a chicken breast.
Yeah, if you're privileged enough, you could do that, but this is perfect on its own.
Just on its own with some flavor.
Every day.
Okay, you know what? Let me try.
Every day.
I need you to try with me, okay? I'm going to have just a bite. What flavor is it? I think it's beef.
It is beef.
No, it tastes good. It reminds me of my. I don't think I've had noodles like since 10 years ago.
Yeah, it gets to that point. Like when you're used to it, you don't want it anymore.
Yes.
It gets to that point.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, because it's morning, during the day, when you sleep, same thing.
Okay, I'm gonna have one more bite. Okay.
You just imagine meat. It works.
Really? Okay. That was really lovely. As I've said, it reminded me of my student days. Thank you so much for that, because it was a long time ago. Okay. For a second, I could see myself. Yes, I went back. Now, Lona, as we're wrapping up the show, just a few things that I wanted us to discuss. If there's someone that is listening that they're not sure whether they are in an abusive relationship, what are some of I'll say 3 signs they should be looking out for? If these 3 things are happening, then you're most probably in an abusive relationship.
Controlling, that would be the first one. There shouldn't be the restrictions. A lot of them, yes, you can like compromise here and there, but there should just not be a restriction that you do not want.
Yeah.
If you want to go out and you are told not to go, that's a red flag.
Second
all
one?
the time. Second one, it's that psychology manipulation where you think they're the only people that will love you and whatnot. Yeah. Also, I think like if you're not given space, they're just always around you, always around. Like if they're, let's say with me, it was the phone, because like he was always calling me all the time. Where are you? Video call. So if they don't really give you your space to be you,
then it's a red flag.
Yeah, it's a red flag.
So controlling, the manipulation, psychological manipulation, and also just not giving you room where you can be yourself. You can even spend some time alone with yourself you constantly need to be in this person's company, or they need to know where you are always?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, definitely.
And then the other thing that I wanted to ask is, what role do you think that family, friends can play, in making sure that they continue to protect someone that is in an abusive relationship?
I think it's to make them aware first, because most of the time when it starts, you are not aware, and then even when it's happening, you still feel like it's gonna stop, right? Like, make them aware that you might not come out here alive or the same. Because I myself sometimes get scared of things that I'm not sure of, right? Like of things that I do not know. Like, I remember this other time, my boyfriend, we're having like a bit of an argument. It was not really an argument, right? For the first time, he kind of raised his voice, and I freaked out. Like, I freaked out. So you are just never the same. It happened. You live with it. You are never the same. So I really feel like they make them aware, and also of the dangers that this could mess your head up, right? Or you can also harm that person as well, ruining your future, because sometimes if you guys are going to be fighting and things are physical, in you defending yourself, you might hurt that person too. Where what's going to go on? What's going to happen with your life? You're going to go to jail. You murdered. It doesn't matter who started. You murdered someone. So yeah.
I think, what I'm getting also is that the psychological part is something that I think we underestimate, that it messes you up.
It does.
I've never experienced any form of abuse, but I remember when there was the Hlehla case, justice for Namhla, justice for Hlehla, I was so taken back, I was so traumatized that I kind of imagined myself in that situation. Now, the funny thing is that, now the most disturbing thing is that we have a neighbor, and it was during that time where it was at the height on social media, and I heard a scream, I heard a cry next door from my neighbor, and immediately I got out of the house and I went knocking. Literally hysterically, because I thought to myself, oh my goodness, she's in danger and there's something happening. And the first thought is, she's experiencing some kind of violence in the house. And she's just heard news of a passing of a family member or a relative that just passed. And hence she was crying. But I reflected back, I'm like, oh my goodness, if I could feel this way, because as a result of following a story,
it's
how much
bad.
More for someone that was there,
who experienced it. It's very bad. It's very bad, and they really do underestimate it. You are never the same, and the sooner you get out, the better.
Now, just as we summarize and as we end off the show, what are your last words as we're talking about gender-based violence? Do you think there are enough interventions, whether from a government point of view or from the community? What would you like to see happening to just stop this?
Legally, I feel like there should be harsher punishments, right? Because especially with couples, normally the police would tell them that they should go home, fix this, talk about this. But she really went to lay a charge that she was beaten, right? Also, community-wise, I feel like there should be organizations. There were things like called street committee and whatnot. They should be talking about those things. Like that person should be attended. Literally go to his house or her house, because sometimes it's the other way around, right? So women should be made to feel safe. We should see that we're in a safe space, right? So I feel like we are really being let down by the systems as well, because these people, they walk around, they beat you today, you lay a charge, and sometimes like it doesn't even happen. They don't even come. Sometimes police are called that this and this is happening. They don't come, or come later, or maybe someone has already died, right? So I feel like a lot of things are just letting women down.
Our systems need to be on point.
Yeah.
Our systems need to be structured. The punishment needs to be harsher. A lot needs to go out into the community. I like the example that you made about a street committee.
Yeah.
I know when we were growing up, there were street committees.
Definitely.
And there were people patrolling, making sure that the community is safe. So those things should be brought back. I absolutely agree. Lona, thank you so much for coming through. I really, enjoyed our talk. I've learned a lot from your story. More than anything else, you just, emphasized everything that I've been feeling. How strong you are, and how you've continued to use your voice to bring about change in our community, how you've used your platforms on social media, wherever, to make a strong case about what is not going right in our communities. May you continue to do so. I wish you well, and I'll continue to follow you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Nice. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I learned a lot from Lona and her story, and I hope you did as well. One of the things that stood out for me is those things that you should notice to realize whether or not you are in abusive or a toxic, relationship. The controlling, the manipulation, and also not being allowed to, thrive and be in your own space. This is Don't Hold Back, where we say it loud. This is a podcast in collaboration with DW, Jacaranda FM, and East Coast Radio. You can listen to this episode and many others on where you get your podcasts, and of course on YouTube. My name is Nozibele Qamngana-Mayaba. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, bye. Don't hold back. Say it loud.